Namaskar. Today we discuss the cavity resonators for the paper Microwave Electronics. In our previous lectures, we have discussed about the transmission lines and propagation through the rectangular and circular waveguides, and also we have find out the conditions and field equations for the various TE and TM modes in rectangular and cylindrical waveguides. Now in today's lecture we will discuss about the cavity resonators, and then we will find out the field equations for the rectangular cavity resonator, as well as we will find out the resonant frequency and the energy stored in the form of electric and magnetic fields in a rectangular cavity resonator. So first of all we define a microwave cavity resonator. Previously we have discussed about the rectangular waveguide and cylindrical waveguide. Waveguide is a hollow structure, while when the both ends of the waveguide are terminated by shorting with metallic plates, then this hollow space formed will support a signal which is bounces back and forth between the shorting planes. Thus, a cavity resonator is a metallic enclosure that confines the EM energy, the stored electric and magnetic energies inside the cavity determine its equivalent capacitance and inductance, and the energy dissipated by the finite conductivity of the cavity walls determine its equivalent resistance. The rectangular cavity resonator, circular cavity resonator, and reentrant cavity resonators are the commonly used resonators, extensively used for practical applications. A given resonator theoretically has an infinite number of resonant modes, and each such mode corresponds to a definite resonant frequency. A maximum amplitude of standing wave occurs, and the peak energy stored in the form of electric and magnetic fields are equal. The mode having the lowest resonant frequency is known as the dominant mode. These are the following few applications of microwave cavity resonators. These are used as tuned circuits like the mechanical and electrical oscillators. These are also used in klystron and magnetrons as interaction space, and in wave meters for the measurement of frequency. Commonly, rectangular and cylindrical cavity resonators are used. So first of all, in this today's lecture we will discuss in detail about the rectangular cavity resonator. So in the following figure, the rectangular cavity resonator is shown with dimensions A, B and D. Along x, y and z directions respectively. The two faces, this one and similarly the last one, these are the sorting planes. So these surfaces with area AB, these are the sorting planes. So when we sort these two planes, red arrow marked with metallic plates, then the rectangular waveguide act as a rectangular cavity resonators. For the dominant mode, the electric lines of force have its maximum amplitude at d by 2 along the z axis, where the field is maximum and the electric field is shown by solid lines along y axis, while magnetic lines of force form closed loops in the xz plane and perpendicular to the electric lines of force, and these are shown with dotted lines or dotted closed loops in the figure. A resonator in practical use can be considered to be section of a waveguide with short-circuited terminations at both ends. The task of finding the EM field solutions within the cavity resonator by applying boundary conditions at the cavity walls. So we apply this procedure to a rectangular cavity resonator with dimensions A, B and D. Now in our waveguide theory, for the TMN mode, we have obtained the solution for the z component of magnetic field along positive z direction along the axis of the waveguide, which is given by C plus cos m pi x upon a cos n pi y over b e raised to the power j omega t minus beta z. Similarly, for the wave propagating along minus z direction, the field equation is shown in equation number 2. So in these two equations, C plus and C minus, these are taken as the amplitudes of the two waves propagating along plus z direction and minus z direction, and also along the minus z direction the exponent term e raised to the power minus j beta z is replaced by e raised to the power plus j beta z. So thus for the TMN mode, the field component Hz inside the cavity will be the superposition of these two traveling waves propagating in the opposite z directions. So in equation 3, we have shown the superposition of equation number 1 and 2 for the field inside a rectangular cavity resonator. Now to find out the constants, value of the constants, we apply here the boundary conditions. So the two boundary conditions will be applied here at z equal to 0 and at z equal to d, that the axial magnetic field Hz must vanish at these two planes where it is normal to the conducting surface. So it is the boundary condition, as we know that the two boundary conditions are: number 1, E tangential is always 0 and H normal is always 0 to the conducting metallic surfaces. So when we apply the first condition at z equal to 0, where hz component will be 0. So the equation 3 will gives us c minus equal to minus c plus. It means the amplitudes of the two oppositely propagating waves are same, but they are opposite in phase. Now when we apply the next boundary condition, that is at z equal to d, again hz will vanish. So when we will put this condition z equal to d in equation number 3 along with c minus equal to minus c plus, this will gives us this equation. So this will gives us the condition that sin beta d must be 0, or beta is given by p pi over d, where p is an integer. Substituting the value of beta, the expression for the magnetic field will be given by hz equal to minus twice j c plus cos m pi x over a cos n pi y over b into sin p pi z over d e raised to the power j omega t. Other field components hx and ey can be evaluated and given by hx equal to minus gamma upon h square del hz over del x, and when gamma equal to j beta, hx will be given by equation 5. After substituting the value from equation number 4, then this equation will gives us the value of hx equal to 2 beta upon h square c plus m pi over a sin m pi x over a cos n pi y over b sin p pi z over d into e raised to the power j omega t. Similarly, the value of ey will be given by j omega mu over h square del hz over del x, and this is being represented in equation number 6. The electric field of this cavity mode is thus seen to be having maximum value at the center of the xz plane, whose area is AD, and extending perpendicular to these faces, and the magnetic lines of force are closed loops parallel to the xz plane, as already we have discussed in the figure. So this mode of resonance is designated as TEMNP mode. Here subscript P indicates the number of variations of the standing wave along the axial direction of the component traveling waves. Now we will find out the expression for the resonant frequency equation, as h square is given by gamma square plus omega square mu epsilon, and also the value of h square is given by a square plus b square, and the values of a and b when substituted, it is equal to m pi over a whole square plus n pi y over n pi over b whole square. Also we know that for the propagation, value of h square must be equal to omega square mu epsilon, where mu is the where omega is the cutoff frequency. As we know that above cutoff frequency the propagation occurs only. Also value of gamma must be imaginary for wave propagation, and it is given by j beta. So from these equations, when we calculate it to find out the value of omega square mu epsilon given by m pi over a whole square plus n pi over b whole square plus beta square, and also after substituting the value of beta, which is given by p pi over d, and solving this equation in terms of frequency in hertz unit. So the resonant frequency therefore will be given by f0 equal to 1 upon 2 pi under root mu epsilon under root m pi over a whole square plus n pi upon b whole square plus p pi over d whole square, cancelling pi and substituting c for 1 upon root mu epsilon. So equation 8 gives us the final resonant frequency for the rectangular cavity resonator. So this frequency f0 pertain to a completely closed cavity having its walls of infinite conductivity. The presence of the coupling loop or aperture, which is used for the excitation of the resonance, so it may perturb the boundaries of the cavity and hence shift the resonant frequency by an amount that depends upon the tightness of the coupling. So in general, this perturbation is small and the above equation for the resonant frequency is applicable. A closed cavity with infinite conducting walls would oscillate indefinitely in one or several of its normal modes depending upon the manner in which the oscillation is started. Now we finally find out the equations for the energy stored inside the cavity in terms of electric and magnetic fields. Here we are calculating for the dominant TE101 mode. The energy stored in the form of electric field is given by W equal to epsilon upon 2 and volume integration of E square dx dy dz. Substituting the value of field component Ey from equation 6, which we have earlier derived, and then finally also substituting the value of omega square mu epsilon from equation number 7, the energy of the oscillator is given by We equal to mu c plus square AB into a square plus d square upon 2d e raised to the power twice j omega t. Similarly, when we find out the oscillating energy stored in the form of magnetic field, then it is given by Wm equal to mu upon 2 and volume integration of hx square plus hz square dx dy dz. Substituting the values of hx and hz components already derived, then this expression comes out to be minus mu plus square ab into a square plus d square upon twice t e raised to the power twice j omega t. Thus the resonance, as we note here, that both the energies We and Wm are equal in magnitude, but due to the opposite sign, which indicates that both the energies are out of phase, that is the phase difference between them is pi radians. So this behavior of the resonant microwave cavity resembles with the mechanical and electrical LCR oscillator systems, as we know that we have studied in our previous classes that the energy stored either in the form of kinetic energy and electrostatic energy or potential energy in mechanical oscillators. So they have the equal form, equal values. So the similar behavior we have discussed here, that the energy is stored in terms of electric and magnetic fields in cavity resonators also have the same magnitude and out of phase. So this is about the rectangular cavity resonator. In our next lecture we will discuss the cylindrical cavity resonator and the quality factor of the cavity resonators. Thank you.